Frugal friends, I had to take a moment to compose myself. I had started recording this, and then, well, let me just tell you the story. Okay, so we just got into our hotel room here in Orlando, and it has been the most insane day. It was like, I was ready to just be like, let's just turn around and go home. I mean, like, I've traveled a lot. I travel quite frequently, and this was just, I have to remind myself I've had other travel experiences that were rough, and that's part of the adventure, and that someday you'll laugh about it. And right now it's more of a hysterical laugh, but eventually it'll be a good laugh. So here's the story. So our flight went beautifully. It was wonderful. It even got into Orlando early, which was awesome. But then I had made the mistake when booking this trip of not renting my car through Enterprise, which I had promised myself like 2 years ago that I would never rent with anyone but Enterprise.
And on the airplane, we gotta watch the new Lion King
Oh, Reagan
movie.
wants to tell you.
We gotta watch the new Lion King movie, which I have never seen, along with her, Mariah, and our dad, Olivia, and her
They can't
dad.
hear you because you're like up in Africa. And we got, what other movie did we see?
Toy Story 4.
Okay, let me finish the story. He was really excited to tell you guys that we did get to see movies on the flight. And I'm actually going to do a review of Delta because they have upped their game. I was actually really pleased with, with Delta compared to my most recent JetBlue experience. So that was interesting. But anyway, so I was going to say, so our flight got in early, and then we went to go get our rental car. Well, come to find out, it was an off-site rental because I had just gone with what was cheapest instead of going with Priceline, which actually has ended up being cheaper. But anyways, so there's like, we have to wait for a shuttle, then you take the shuttle and go to this sketchy place, and it was like the most ridiculous. Ended up having to like call my car insurance in Utah, and then they were the rental place trying to add on all these fees, and finally I'm just like, what does it cost to cancel this? And she's like, nothing, and I'm like, I'm out. And I regret to say I was using some naughty words in there, not like to her, but about the whole situation, and I'm not proud of that, but it was, she literally was standing there lying to my face about the tolls and the fees, and I felt so bad. This couple next to us, this older couple, they had no options. I just ended up calling a Lyft, which is, you know, like an Uber, but they weren't able to. I felt so bad for them. Anyway, so we got a Lyft, and then it took us to the wrong hotel, which was my fault. There are a bazillion Days Inn hotels right here, and I just was so like flustered because this was not my plan that I put the wrong one. But the driver was really nice. So he took us there, and then we realized it was the wrong one, and we couldn't switch the reservation because this one was full, or the one we went to, and Reagan was starving. So finally it was just like, we have to, this is insane. But now he's eating. But that hotel that was the wrong one, they let us store our luggage, and then we ran, like literally ran, and you know how bad my knees are. Luckily I did bring my cane, but it was all folded up in the suitcases. Anyway, so we ran to Burger King and ordered some food, and it took like forever to get it. So Mama got a milkshake, hold on Reggie, and it was delicious. That totally hit the spot. And we had to order another Lyft. So each one was like $30 a pop. Okay. So if you guys had super chatted me money for like drinks and stuff, no, those drinks, that money went to my Lyft drivers instead. But Mama needs a drink at this point. Holy cow. So anyway, so sorry, you're not going to get to see me having a margarita. But anyways, so we ordered another Lyft, but of course it was crazy busy then, and so there wasn't another Lyft available in the area for like an hour. So we run over to Burger King and trying to figure out, because the lights are a little different here than in Utah, and then it started raining. But then Reggie spotted that there was like a golf place that had little alligators out front.
It wasn't a golf place.
It did. It said golf.
Yeah, but that was when we were going to.
Well, anyway, so so we stopped and looked at these alligators, and he pointed out this beautiful little moment, and that was amazing. And then, sorry, this is getting really uncomfortable right here. So I am gonna have to have you guys bouncing a little. I'm sorry, but it's hurting my neck. So then, and keep in mind, I'm not gonna be able to edit this at all, so you're just getting the raw. This is this, and I'm a mess. Like, I've been crying. I hate admitting that I was dropping the F-bomb today in a car rental place, and then I've been crying all over the place. I'm real. You know, on this channel, you get the real me. Mostly. There's a lot of stuff I hold back, and I didn't want you to see me just falling apart again. So I'm much more composed now, but a bit of a mess. Anyway, so we come running back because when you order a Lyft or an Uber, it tells you when the driver's going to be there, and our driver had arrived, and so I had to call her and tell her, please wait. And then we had to wait for this light that took ages. We almost, just ran across, but I was like, no, I can't do that with my little boy. Finally it changed, and so we went running over there, and this driver, she was the sweetest, kindest woman. She was amazing. So I threw Reagan in the car. I grabbed our suitcases. Well, and then of course when I went back in to get our suitcases, the guy that had put them away wasn't there. And so we had to wait for someone else to come and open the thing and get my suitcases. And then finally,
Tell me that.
yeah. And then finally we get in there, and this woman, I wish I would have kept track of her name. I know it's on my Lyft record. I am so giving her the most just glowing review. She let me vent, and she commiserated with me and was like, yeah, those are total scammers and whatever about the car rental thing. And we shared our stories, and it was just, she was delightful. She was so delightful. Anyway, finally we get here to this hotel, and I was like, this has to be the right one or I'm done. So we come in, and it was the right one. And the ladies at the desk were so sweet, and they reminded me, you're here and you're alive and you're well and unharmed. And I'm like, you know what? This might be the universe protecting me, because maybe if things had worked out, I try to look for silver linings, okay? And yeah, hallelujah, grateful that we even, got here safe. And it was so good of them to remind me of that. I needed that. But also, you never know when stuff hits the fan and things go crazy. It might have prevented something worse. Do you know what I mean? I've had a lot of situations where things just went nuts, way off the plan. And I wonder sometimes, there were these guys that had tickets for the Titanic, or we're supposed to be flying on the planes that hit the Twin Towers 9/11, and their stuff got canceled for some reason. They weren't able to this or that, and they lived because it got messed up, and it must have been so frustrating at the time. But then they find out, oh, guess what? You would have been dead. And I'm not saying that that's what would have happened if we would have gotten our car or whatever, but I'm trying to look at this as positively as possible, and try to find meaning in it or something. Anyway, we get here, we get checked into our room. They gave us a ground level without me even asking. And of course it's stairs, it's not elevators. So I was so grateful for that. I hadn't even asked, I didn't even think to ask for it because I was so tired. So then we come in and we're walking into our room, and I could hear footsteps, but I thought maybe it was another guest. No, come to find out, one of the hotel workers or managers or something happened to have been walking by, because I got in here and I was like, oh, it kind of smells like smoke. Ugh, that's not that's not cool. I had just mentioned it to Reagan. I didn't tell anyone else. 5 minutes later, when I first started recording this video, but now I'm doing it again, there was a knock on the door, and I'm like, uh-oh. I go and answer the door, and I'm expecting there's going to be another disaster. No, it was one of the maintenance workers with room spray and all this stuff. And he's like, so your room was stinky? And I'm like, what? Who? I didn't call. I didn't. So the manager had heard that I had said that. And he came in, this guy, he was so beautiful. Vincent was his name. He came in and he sprayed and all this. And we just had the most beautiful time. So then, of course, I was bawling again. And we are here.
You better not start bawling.
We are here. And now I need to eat my food that I got an hour or two ago. not the milkshake. I did eat that already, and that was amazing, and that was like medicine. We have gotten a new car for tomorrow. I did rent a car, and come to find out, the place I rented it is within walking distance. I had thought I was going to have to get another Lyft or Uber to get to the Enterprise. No, it's like on this block. It's on this block. And then, so I was really bummed about having to pay those Uber prices, you know, because that was not part of the budget. I won't have to pay any more of those. Like I said, it's walking distance. And then the hotel has a free shuttle to the airport.
But sadly, we aren't going to be here
So
the whole time.
we are here. And I'm so glad. And you know what? That second, I mean, both Uber or Lyft drivers were great people. But that second one gave me some awesome tips about how to avoid tolls, and because we don't deal with tolls in Utah. That's not like a thing on toll. There's not tollways, you know? So we don't deal with that. That's not something I'm used to. But she was so helpful. She was so wonderful. Anyway, frugal friends, we have made it. We are here. I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to shower, because dang. And then we're going to sleep, and we're sleeping in. I appreciate you guys, especially if you stayed till the end of this. Thank you so much for being a part of our adventure. We appreciate you. And thank you for bearing with us and being patient with us while we, do these little memory-making vacations. I know you guys missed the dumpster diving. I do too. We're going to try to do some dumpster diving while we're here, since we will have a car. And we won't, like Reagan's saying, we won't be able to really keep anything, but we'll at least go and check it out and take you guys along. But thanks for bearing with us and letting us make memories that will last us forever. The good, the bad, the insane, all of it. Anyway, you guys are wonderful. Have a good night. We'll see y'all real soon.